The Twin Son episode of Rebels where Obi Kenobi and Darth Maul fight, if you want to call it that.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, obviously.
But heavy spoilers if you haven't seen it. Turn the shit off.
Pissed too.
I'm not too impressed with Rebels overall.
Right.
There's a lot of filler, and I get it. We've talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
It happened a lot with Clone Wars, especially later in the seasons.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I know it's geared towards kids, so it doesn't have to technically make sense or even be that plot enhancing or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But something, dude, it's just Maul wasn't there. He shows up, and Obi Kenobi's sitting there having a barbecue on the ground, but the sun's going down, and it was just kind of awkward. It wasn't set up well. It lasted 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it was really strange.
And it was weird how Obi-Wan held Maul at the end. Like they were like fun adversaries, but it was, you just killed a monster that killed your Jedi dad.
Master, yeah.
And
Jedi dad.
And it has been hunting you and murdering stuff.
Trying to get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you going to hold him and like even answer his questions? Is he really the chosen one? Yeah, bitch.
He did not fight Saw Gerrera.
Girl. Chainsaw Gerrera.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed.
Did you understand the lightsaber changes?
No, I didn't.
So
that was obnoxious.
So Obi did the 2-point. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I hate that so much.
It is what it is. So
it's terrible,
and then Maul kind of flips around and gets ready to attack. And then Obi-Wan brings his lightsaber up exactly
like
how
fucking
Qui-Gon.
Babe Ruth.
No, like Qui-Gon Jinn did. That's the Qui-Gon stance. So Obi-Wan was baiting Maul to fight him the exact same. So when he came at him, you see Maul come up and try to do the up under the chin so he could stab him.
Yeah.
But instead, he knew it was coming. It was just like, nope. And it was so quick, but that's what he was. He was baiting him with Qui-Gon's stance. And Maul tried to do the exact thing.
Yeah.
And it obviously didn't work.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get the stance changes thing. I thought it was just like that when Kylo and Rey are like faces back and forth when she's like thinking when they're in the fight, and it just cuts back and forth, face this way, that way, for like a minute.
Yeah, it's just red face, blue face, red face, blue face.
Exactly. Okay, well, they're about to fight. I understand that. That was annoying. The stance change I didn't understand. I thought it was cool that the fight it wasn't a fight and it was like quick. Like Maul comes at him and Obi like blocks and like makes a quick move, cuts his lightsaber in half, and
like he cuts him like down somehow.
Yeah. It was a cool change.
Well, it says two things.
It says three things.
It says a lot. Because it shows how smart Obi-Wan is and how
wise he has become.
And for how much more character development happened in Maul throughout everything that he's lived through, he still was somewhat simple-minded in the end that my rage, I'm just going to kill him. Rah! And then he's just, I fucked up because that's Obi-Wan. I didn't even think my fight through. Like, you did all this badass stuff, almost turned people to the dark side and everything, and I'm going to rage kill everything. Oh, wait, no, I can't because it's Obi-Wan.
Yeah. That made the fact that Maul was back in Rebels completely underwhelming.
Yeah, true.
Like, I like Maul in Rebels more than in Clone Wars because he starts to actually, like, plot. Instead of just running into shit and trying to kill everything, he starts to actually plot. He wants to turn Ezra to his apprentice so he can train him and bring down the Sith or whatever he was trying to do because the dark side fucked him over so much. But then as soon as he hears about Kenobi, he forgets everything. He's gone for, like, 6 episodes in a row. You don't see Maul at all. Then all of a sudden, he's back. He baits Ezra, and then him and Kenobi... It's like a 2-minute long scene.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a really, really underwhelming way to end it.
So, yeah, I think I'm not mad that it happened. I think it makes sense because of who Obi-Wan is. Yeah, but, okay. The thing I'm struggling with is when Obi-Wan and Maul fight in like the Clone Wars or whatever, it's brutal and it goes on and it's crazy. And Obi-Wan has to flee half the time because he just can't deal with it. And then we get like 30 years later when Obi-Wan can barely stand. It's just, wow. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Why?
There's a few things that I do like. Obi-Wan is old. He can't fight for a half hour like he did with Anakin.
Right.
And based on what you do see, because this is only like a year or two before A New Hope, so based on what you do see in A New Hope, the fact that it wasn't a long fight was cool. It wasn't really a fight at all.
Well, it wouldn't make sense if he was flipping around.
Of course.
Because that would make
geezer now.
Well, that would make episode 4 really dumb.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of stuff that they're doing in Rebels and in Rogue One is making the original trilogy better. So that's a good thing. I like the change of pace and that it's not some crazy, exaggerated fight.
Yeah, true.
I just think we talked about the fan service stuff, and it just feels like 100% fan service episode that doesn't really add anything to the story. Maul was building towards something a lot more important than just hunting down Kenobi, and then he disappears for 6 episodes or whatever, comes back, and it's over so quick. It doesn't really like add any depth to what's going on in Rebels.
You know what it feels like is the person that decided that Maul lived was working for a company and they wrote all this stuff and then he got fired and they're like, we got to get rid of this damn character that he kept writing. It's like, all right, we'll just throw him on Tatooine to make it like cool and Kenobi will fuck him.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just really, really out of place. I think is the word for it.
But it still makes sense. Like you were saying, it's slower pace. It makes sense that Obi-Wan's not going crazy.
Right.
You know, he's kind of in hiding. That's the other thing. So if Darth Maul can find Obi-Wan on Tatooine in hiding, why can't Darth Vader?
He couldn't find him.
He found him.
No. He found Ezra and he knew that Obi-Wan would sense Ezra would come to try to rescue him.
I have to be honest, I didn't even watch the episode. I just watched the fight.
So fight. Yeah, so it starts off with Maul's walking through the desert. He's about to pass out. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Why is he there?
Because he's looking for Kenobi, but he can't find him. He's been looking for him for a while.
So he's on the same planet?
He's on Tatooine.
How did he track him to Tatooine? Why can't Darth Vader find Kenobi on Tatooine if Darth Maul can?
Because it was that one episode where the holocron, him and Maul and Ezra were opening the holocron. It finally opened. He saw where it was. He recognized the twin sons.
Oh, yeah.
He already knew it was on Tatooine. Okay. But he couldn't find Obi Kenobi, and he knew that he could trick Ezra again. So he sent that like signal, and then he tricked Ezra through the holocron, and then Ezra came, and then he's like, Obi-Wan's going to sense him and come rescue him, and then I'll make my move.
The fact that they built Maul up so much, I think it takes away from Vader. Like Vader could have done the same exact thing.
I don't think it takes away from Vader. I just think it's just poor storytelling to build up Maul and end him like that.
Vader also has a lot more on his plate than just hunt down Obi-Wan.
And he's never going to go back to Tatooine ever
Run everything.
Again. He's never going back to Tatooine.
Palpatine's like, I did 30 years of conniving and backstabbing. Vader, you run this shit now. I'm just going to sit on my... and he just turns around.
Yeah. I don't hate the fight. I hate how Maul ended. All that setup and build from the end of season 2 is when they met Maul, right?
So let me ask you the question.
To end like that?
Should Maul have lived?
Good evening, Star Wars Legacy. Should Maul have lived? I don't want him to live through the end of Rebels, but I just don't think it should have happened like that.
No, I'm not in this. Should Maul have lived beyond episode 1? Because does he add anything to any story? Now, in the end, he might, because we don't know what happens to Ezra, and he had an effect on Ezra.
Of course.
So it's still kind of up in the air, but end all be all, I'm like, it didn't add anything for me.
Yep.
You could have had another crazy...
Added a bunch of cash money in Disney's pocket.
Right. I mean, they could have fulfilled everything that Maul did with Ezra with just like... the flying Sith, the Inquisitionators.
Inquisitors. Yeah, but they weren't Sith, though.
So? You can get a Sith holocron and not be a Sith.
I don't know. I thought a few things would have been cool. It would have been really cool to see Obi-Wan actually get involved, even from a distance, with the rebellion. Because Rebels is about the start of the rebellion. Hence the name. That's what they've been working on. You finally see it come together towards the end of season 3 when Mon Mothma shows up and then General Dodonna's there and they're bringing the fleet together. To have Obi-Wan at least know what other people are working on and he stays on Tatooine, then when R2 pops up in episode 4, he like... It means more. It would mean more to him if he was actually involved. And maybe he'll come back in season 4. I just think for him, for all this build up, and then Obi-Wan shows up for half of an episode, kills Maul in 5 seconds, and then we don't see him again. It's like that was obviously just a 100% fan service episode.
Well,
it's a waste of the story.
Yep.
Obi-Wan could have been more involved in the rebellion, and I think Maul could have tried to get closer to taking down the Sith or trying to investigate the Sith or something.
I don't know, man. I'm done. I've been done with Rebels. I watched the fight of all fights in Rebels, and it was that.
Mm-hmm.
Best part of Rebels is when Ahsoka fought Vader on that Sith planet under the crust. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Dathomir or just...
Malachor 5.
Yeah, that it was. Yeah. Under the crust.
Yeah.
When she fought Vader, that was the best part of Rebels.
And now that's another thing, that they brought back Vader for those few things, but then he has been seen again. Like, he doesn't have any fucks to give about the Rebels, so you don't see him until the big shit happens, like the Death Star in Rogue One, or he's involved at little points in times across this like timeline.
Well, I wonder if they're building up. They got they got Maul out of the way. The last 2 episodes, they're just going to go ham on it and just Vader it up, just kind of like Rogue One.
The last 2 episodes are already out.
Oh.
I watched the first of the last 2. It's like a part 1 and part 2 thing. They've been building up for this attack on the Imperial base on Lothal, whatever. Thrawn predicts it, brings the fleet in, they fight. Thrawn fucks almost everybody up. They escape, whatever. So Vader's definitely not coming back until season 4.
Not watching it.
Thank God for Star Wars Explained, because I can just go on and watch 5-minute highlights and get the story.
And then read it.
Skip all the fucking song and dance with the droids.
Man.
Pissed!